Hello friends, and welcome to Steph's Pointe, the channel dedicated to all things dance and acrobatics. I hope you're excited because today we are working on our front splits. So if you want to get closer to achieving your splits, or you just want to get deeper into your front splits, this video is perfect for you. I've got some fun Targaryen socks on today, and we're going to get right into these stretches right now. Okay, so first we're gonna start by testing out where we are right now at the beginning of this stretch, just to see where we are and then see where we end up at the end of the video. So go ahead and very gently send your right foot forward, hands on the floor, and just slide out to wherever you feel resistance. So we're not forcing our stretch right now. We're not even warm, so we're not gonna slide down into our full splits. Just go to where you feel some pushback, some resistance, and hold there for a second and just notice where you are. All right, come back up, other leg forward, and slide it down until you feel some resistance. Once you feel that resistance, just take note, notice where you are, and come back up. Awesome. Okay, so first let's talk about hip flexors, then we're gonna move into hamstrings, and then we're gonna move into the outsides of your hips. So, stepping your right foot forward, press your legs down towards the floor, pressing your hips forward towards the floor, and feel the stretch through here. Notice the sensation, feel how it feels in your hip flexor. As you're pressing down, make sure your knee is directly over your ankle and your hips stay square. So if this back foot is turning towards the side, then you know that you're opening through your hips, and you wanna correct that by pulling your hips forward towards the front foot and keeping that back foot in alignment. So we're pressing down, pressing down, pressing down. All right, now go ahead and sit. You're gonna sit on your side, and we're actually gonna warm up this hip flexor a little bit and then go into that stretch again to see if we can find a deeper position, a deeper stretch. So go ahead and take your left arm up above your head, your other leg is extended out, and we're just gonna pull that knee into our chest and extend back out. Make sure it's turned out so it's coming in towards the armpit, towards the chest, and extending back out. We're gonna go for 10 of these. So come on with me, in and out. We're warming up the hip flexor, in and out, in and out, in and out. 5 more here. Make sure you're not sinking into your elbows, sitting up tall, coming in and out. 2, and last one, out. Awesome. Come back up to your knees, step forward with that same foot again. So we're stretching the leg we were just working, and press down. See if you can sink a little bit deeper. You should find a much deeper stretch now that you've allowed some blood to flow into that muscle and warm it up. Just sink down here. As you're sinking down, think about your pelvis tucking and rolling back. So belly button is pulling up and you're pressing your hips down. A lot of times when we're in this stretch, I see people do this, where they arch their back. Well, this isn't really actually stretching your hip flexor. It's mostly just allowing your back to arch. So you wanna pull your back into a flat, neutral spine position and then press your hips towards the earth. There we go. Breathe here, stretching into that. And relax. Okay, we're gonna do the other side, so turn a little bit, step the opposite foot forward, and press the hips down towards the floor. Oh man, this side already feels so much more resistance, so much tighter. Just breathe into that, see how it feels. Stretching into it, keeping the pelvis neutral. And come back up. Now we're gonna warm this side up as well and see how much further we can get into that stretch. So bring your arm up to the ceiling and we're gonna bend the bottom leg. We're gonna pull the knee into our armpit and out towards the side. In and out. Bring it in and out. We're gonna stay here for 10. So you have 7 left. 6. Oftentimes when we think about stretching, we just try to hold our splits and hope that holding our splits is gonna help us get our splits. But really you wanna warm up the muscles and then stretch them. And that's gonna give you the most flexibility and also keep your muscles safe from overstretching and injury. So we have 2 more here. 1 and 2. Nice. Come on back up to your knees. And we're gonna stretch that hip flexor out, stepping forward, pressing the hips towards the floor. Oh, so nice. That range just opens right up the moment that you warm up the muscle. You increase the blood flow, you increase the oxygen that's being pulled towards that muscle, and it allows you to sink down deeper into your stretches. So breathe and hold here. Take a check of your belly button, make sure it's pulling up and back. Also make sure that foot is in alignment and we're pressing the hips down towards the floor. Breathe and stretch. Good, come back up. Okay, we're gonna do the same sort of thing for your hamstrings. So stepping your left foot forward, flex the heel so that's pulling up towards the ceiling, turn it out, and then reach your hands towards the floor. Make sure this knee stays straight, this heel is flexing all the way, and you're reaching your hands towards the floor. Your hips are directly over your knee in the back. As you're reaching, try to think of your chest reaching towards your leg instead of your nose rounding through the spine like this. You want to think of your belly button and your chest leading the stretch. Breathe and hold here. Notice the sensations. And relax. Come on down to your hands and knees. We're gonna take that same leg that we were just stretching and extend it straight to the back with a flexed heel. We're gonna keep this leg elevated. Make sure your spine is neutral. You're not arching through your back. You're pulling your ribs in. We're gonna flex the heel, bend the heel in towards the glute, and extend it. You should feel your hamstring working. We're gonna go for 10 here. 2, extend. 3, make sure it's parallel, not turned out, extend. 4, extend. These are hamstring curls. 5, lengthen, make sure you're not arching. 6, beautiful work, dancers. 7, so great. 3 more. 8, flex, flex, flex. 9, and 10. Awesome. Bring that leg down and then step it forward, flexing the heel towards the ceiling, turning it out, and reaching the hands towards the floor. Oh my goodness, you should feel yourself sinking down deeper into that stretch and your body allowing you to go further because you warmed up that muscle. Breathe and hold here for a couple breaths. We're gonna take the foot and bring it to parallel. Now turn it out. Parallel and turn out. Just creating movement in the hip socket and out. Parallel and out. Awesome job. Bring that foot back in. We're gonna try the whole series on the other side. So switching over to the opposite leg, sending the leg forward, flexing the heel, turning it out and reaching towards the floor. You guys don't have to switch corners every time. I just do that so that you can see my posture better and see what I'm doing better. But for you, just staying towards one side is perfectly fine. Think about reaching that belly button towards the thigh, head in line with the spine, neutral spine, breathing and stretching. Notice the sensations in your hamstring. Now come swing that leg back behind you, go on down to all fours. Let the leg float up towards the ceiling. Now, make sure your hips are square, your spine is neutral, you're not breaking out through the rib cage. And square, parallel foot, toes facing the floor. Flex and bend the heel and extend. Bend up and extend. 8 more. 8, extend. 7, extend. Make sure it's directly behind you, not swinging to the side. And 5, breathe. 4, you guys are doing so good. 3, and 2, and last one. All right, send that same leg straight out in front, flex the heel, turn it out, reach the palms towards the floor, and feel that stretch loosening up. Breathe into it. Go ahead and turn the foot parallel and turn it out. Parallel and out. It's important to create movement as you're stretching and to focus on your breathing so that you can keep oxygen and blood flow going to the muscles. Turn out, parallel. Turn out and parallel. Very nice. All right. Moving into our center position to fully warm up the hips and all the parts of the legs. We're gonna work on the inner thighs. So take the feet out to your widest second position, flex the toes to make sure that they stay towards the ceiling and they don't roll forward, and you're gonna walk the fingertips forward. As you walk the fingertips forward, keep the chest long, pulling the belly button towards the floor, toes staying turned out. And as you sit here, just notice where you feel the stretch. Do you feel it on your inner thighs, in your hips? Maybe you feel it right around the front of your knee. Just notice, and notice how far you are in this stretch. All right, and pull the legs in. We're gonna lie on our back and do a couple open and closing motions of the leg to warm up the inner thighs. So bring the legs up to the ceiling, turn them out so the heels are facing each other. We're gonna do little scissors here for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, make sure the knees are straight, 2, and 1. Now we're gonna crisscross and open. Cross, open the legs. When you open, make sure the toes are going towards the floor, heels to the ceiling. Cross and open. Cross and open. Cross and 4 more. Use the opposite foot in front. Cross and open. So leading with the left leg in front. Cross and open. And cross and open. Pull the legs in. We're gonna come back to our second position and see how that changed. Flex the feet, walk the hands forward. Notice if you can get a little bit further into your second. Breathing here. I tell my students this all the time, but flexibility is a little bit, you have to do a little bit of detective work. You have to see what exactly is holding you and your body back, because for some people it's their inner thighs, for other people it's the hip flexors, some people their glutes are really tight, their IT bands. We got to see what is going on and how can we address that thing to gain more flexibility. There's so many things that go into your splits, your hips, your hamstrings, your hip flexors. All these muscles are involved in your flexibility, and you have to work each individual one to discover where you need to focus most of your stretching time. All right, come on back up. We're just gonna loosen up the hip joint now. So flex the feet. This one's a little odd. We're gonna flex the feet and have them in this sort of like second position, like what you would have your standing second. Let the knees fall over to one side, pull the hip to face that side. Come back to the middle and rotate the other way. And middle. You should feel your hips moving around that movement. If you have tighter hips, this movement might be a little uncomfortable. You might feel some loosening, some tightness. If you have looser hips, this might just be a little rock and jam session for you, nothing to worry about, and that's okay. Every body is different. And rotate, and center, and rotate, and center. One more time, rotate, center. Last one, rotate, center. Bring the feet together to a butterfly stretch position. Grab hold of the ankles, and we're gonna roll the chest in a circle. So roll the chest forward and back, forward and back. Loosening up the hips even more and loosening up the spine a little bit. And other way, forward and back, forward and back, forward and back. Nice job. Now that we've addressed all of the elements, we're gonna try out those side splits again. We're gonna go into it with a rocking motion. So stepping 1 foot forward, press your hips towards the floor. Now stretch back and forward. Press, press, press. Press back and forward. 2 more, back and front. Last one, back and front. Step this foot out a little bit further away from you, and we're gonna rock 4 here. Going back and front. And each time trying to get deeper into our stretches, stretching all the way, pressing down, all the way pressing down. Last one, and front. Now let's slide it out and see how that feels. When we first slid into our splits, maybe you felt a little tightness in your hip flexor, maybe in your hamstring. Hopefully now you feel a lot looser, a lot lighter in your muscles, and you can sink down further into your splits. We're gonna breathe here for about 20 seconds. It's a common misconception that people should hold splits or hold stretches for long extended periods of time. Actually, you should only sit in a single stretch for about 20 to 30 seconds and then release it. You can always go back into the stretch for another 20 to 30 seconds, but you don't want to sit and hold for longer than that because you actually wring out all of the blood from the muscle, and then your body's not giving your muscles oxygen and nutrients as you're stretching, and it can cause some micro tears and damage in the muscle. Step the other foot forward, and we're gonna do our rocks here, pressing down and back. I like to explain why I do things, pressing down as I do them, so that you guys have a better understanding of your bodies and you can make informed decisions about how you want to stretch, how you want to work your muscles in the future, even when you're outside of my videos. Press forward and back. So moving, gliding through stretches, step this foot forward a little bit more is the best way to fully stretch and keep the muscles safe and gain flexibility. Press forward and back, and press forward and back. Go ahead and slide it on down. Just like I was talking about in your lunge, a good way to check to make sure your hips are square is to bend that back foot. If the back foot is going towards the ceiling, you're square. If it is going towards the back, then you might be opening up through your hips, and you want to try to fix that and pull your back hip forward to face the floor. Press down and relax. Notice how you feel here. Releasing into the stretch and allowing your body to relax. And shake it out. Last thing we're gonna do is a little center split stretch. So come on down to your elbows and slide the knees open, flexing the feet, keeping the feet in line with the knees. This is an open frog position. And just do some gentle rocks, pressing the hips back and forward. Just gentle, very small rocks back and forward. This is a much safer way to stretch your center splits because it doesn't put any pressure on the knee joint. When you open up to your full center splits, you actually have a lot of pressure pushing down into the inside of your knee, and that can cause damage and instability over time. So we want to try to stretch in a safer way. And back and forward and back and forward. Relax. That is the end of our stretch today, friends. All right, friends, I hope you had fun stretching with me today. If you did, be sure to comment down below and tell me your favorite stretch from this video. And of course, subscribe to the channel if you want more content like this, and give me a thumbs up to let me know that you enjoyed it. And remember to push past your limits. You hold the key to your success. You have the power to push yourself outside of your comfort zone, to make progress towards your goals, but you have to push and work towards them consistently in order to do so. And with that, friends, I will see you guys next time.